Hello. Hold on. I might need to change this. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. We're good. All right. All right. Why is my controller not working now? You gotta be fucking kidding me, man. I'm sick of this. Why is it not working? Controller refuses to work. Great. They break controller support again. Come on, man. It says it's on. Like, oh, I see what's wrong. Never mind. All right, it's not the game's fault. It's my fault. All right, you gonna connect now? Come on, connect. Great, now my controller's not working. This is why I haven't wanted to stream. I've been really irritable. Come on, work! What the hell? Like, fine, like, minutes ago. Just connect the stupid controller. No. Unpair. This is so stupid. I hate how it detects it in the other mode and gets all screwed up. Delete it. Just work, please. Thank you. Just like pulling a tooth out. It's my mistake. I had it in switch mode, but still, it's annoying and it doesn't like. They tell it to reconnect and it doesn't do it. The mobile controller and the one I use at home have they get detected differently in this game for some reason. So when I go from mobile to PC or vice versa, I have to change the controls. Otherwise, the game is only half playable. I don't know why it does that. It's nothing to really complain about because the game works fine otherwise. And the fact that it even has controller support at all is better than most games. But yeah, for some reason, it like doesn't see the mobile controller, the telescopic one, as like an Xbox controller. It's like I don't know. Maybe it sees as like direct input or something. But I have to go in here and do this every time. Dude, what? I have something just work. What does it want? Why? What does that mean? Can you just work? I've already felt like garbage all day. I just want to just play a game. It's annoying and you just want to fucking play something and like shit just refuses to work. Now I had to do all this again. Just take it this time. I wish this thing just had separate profiles and you just plug it in, just play. And nope, you gotta do this every single time. Default doesn't work right. At least this game doesn't have too many buttons. It's a mobile game, obviously. That's right, they're testing the PC port today, apparently. I didn't get in. I don't really care, though. I don't really need it. Dude, what is wrong with this? I just reset the freaking controls. Just work. Thank you. Just take the controls. Why is this so hard? What? I don't understand what's wrong with this. Thank you. It's like no reason at all. It's like not wanting to work. Completely fine. Like last time I hooked this up, there's no problem at all. But today is just like not wanting to function. Alright, can I play the video game now? Jeez Louise. Like, never had that happen before. Normally the controls is just takes a couple seconds. It's still obnoxious, but... Alright, I think it's working now. You guys probably don't have sound, huh? Hold on. I'll just reset this run. Forgot about that. A lot of annoying things about my setup. XSplit just doesn't detect the sound for some reason. Now the whole thing just gave out. Why does it work fine until I start streaming? I'm so fed up running this channel, seriously. I'm sick of it. It was fine for 10 minutes. As soon as I get into gameplay, it stops working. Work. I'm so fed up with this channel. I exert so much effort, and nothing wants to work. I just want to play a damn game without getting frustrated. It's not even the game, it's this stupid capture card. I didn't do anything to it. Like... It's fine. 2 days ago, I made no change at all. Can you just fucking work for me? I'm so sick of this crap. What's wrong with it? No, I don't want a fucking update. Just work. Drive me up the fucking wall. It was fine before. Why does stuff just break for me for literally no reason? Stay like that. Fucking break for any reason. You were fine 2 days ago. I didn't even touch the thing. It's been off. Come on, just work. Tired of this shit. Do this for a rich person. They're fucking open mouth clickbait thumbnails. They have thousands of dollars. I don't have any money. Just work and stop doing that. God. So frustrating. I just want to just fucking play something and it's driving me nuts. Huh? No. No.
続ける者が勝つ。全力を出す。フォローをお願いします。この結果はいかがですか。
情けないな。楽しんでくるとする。人事尽くす。みんなを守れ。私についてくる。全てを粉々に潰すのは最高だわ。私がいる場所が戦場よ。私の邪魔をするなんて。
これ
私がいる場所が戦場よ。もっと来てよ。私の邪魔をするなんて。私も行けます。
これだけです。
みんなを守れ。人事尽くす。消滅。星々はあなたたちを深淵へと導くでしょう。大丈夫です。
進み続けるもこの結果はいかがでしょうか。フォローをお願いします。この結果はいかがでしょうか。私の後ろに
私も
全てを終わらせましょう。
私についてきて。全てを粉々に潰すのは最高だ。私がいる場所が戦場よ。もっと来てよ。私がいる場所が戦場よ。私の邪魔をするなんて。
これだけです。
I'm sorry, I've had a very difficult day.
約束通り勝利しま
Just
した。
get annoyed when my stuff just stops working. Like, no reason at all. Like, just to get me tilted. I get really annoyed with that. I like just want to play something. I've had just countless tech issues, and I'm like making less than ever running this channel, so it's making me feel like just complete garbage.
あがいてみせる。コミクス。
これだけです。
私の邪魔をする。
I don't really need to stream this anyway, I just feel like it. I didn't stream at my neighbor's house today, I was not in the shape to do so. Just kind of sat with the cats in silence. Kind of needed that.
楽しんでくれとするわ。
I didn't eat until like 4 o'clock today. I couldn't even get out of bed to eat, so
私についてくる。
it's a pretty good example of my mental state right now.
全てを粉々に潰すのは最低。もっと来てよ。
Very low on morale.
私がいる場所が戦場よ。私の邪魔をするなんて。ずいぶんいい度胸してるわね。
私の後ろに
私も行けます。
フォローをお願いします。
情けないや。
全てを終わらせましょう。私の後ろに
みんなを守れ。私についてきて。恐れることはないわ。全てを粉々に潰す。私も行けます。私がいる場所が戦場よ。もっと来てよ。全てを粉々に潰すのは最高。あがいてみせる。コミクス。私がいる場所が戦場よ。みんなを守れ。星々はあなたたちを深淵へと導くでしょう。人事を尽くす。やってみせる。情けないや。楽しんでくる する。
全力を出しましょう。この結果を。
私がいけます。情けないよ。楽しんでくるとする。全てを粉々に潰すのはさて、もっと来てよ。私がいる場所が戦場よ。あがいてみせて。コミック
これだけでは。
そう情けないよ。楽しんでくるとする。
全てを終わらせましょう。私の後ろに。
Well, that's right. I heard that the
全力を出しましょう。
PC port for this does not have controller support yet, so it's useless to me. I'm glad I didn't get in. I would rather that slot go to somebody who plays on keyboard and mouse. I watched their video about it. I'm like, yeah, I don't care about that then. It's completely useless to me because I'm playing it. I have it hooked up to the TV. I have it hooked up to the TV through my phone with full controller support, so until they have that, that version is useless to me. I understand why they don't have that, like, they already have it here. How do you not have that? It's whatever, though. As long as they have it in the full version. They don't give you the normal, video game talk of, oh, maybe we'll have it later. Nah, man. A lot of people do play this on keyboard and mouse, though. People that started playing on emulator. The controls for this are pretty good. It actually seems like it was designed with the controller in mind, so I don't see a reason to do that. Kingdom Hearts music playing. This is my first time doing a Ultimate Pain Cage. I kind of wanted to wait. I'm having a pretty smooth experience so far. Seems like waiting was good, but I need more points from here, so I'm probably going to start doing Ultimate.
ていけない。
もう寝る時間だよ。使いが眠る時間じゃないな。激殺も激殺する。目を閉じて安らかに眠れる。
勝たなければ無意味です。落ち着いて考えましょう。
ケーキを片付けないといけない。
切り開きます。
No, I think one of the...
素晴らしい。
I think the USB 3.0 port on my motherboard is going bad. That might be why. I'm doing an upgrade soon anyway, so as long as the one I've got it in now fixes it, that's just whatever. Just like, not in the best mental state right now, so I'm sorry for that. Mind has been really cruel to me lately. Oh, that's right, I didn't do Call of Duty Warzone yet. Gotta do that first. It's physical today, so should be pretty good. I got a good team for every element now except fire. That's just because there's no good fire characters in the game yet. Most people are using other elements for fire right now because fire characters are pretty trashed here at the moment. There'll be a couple patches. Alright, Gungrave G.O.R.E is still not out. I thought it would be out at midnight my time, but they're running on I don't know what what they're running on. I was gonna try it tonight, but it's looking like that's not gonna happen. Which is fine. I already bought the game anyway, so I don't really feel like using the Game Pass version. I actually don't like playing big games on Game Pass, because I like to do mods and stuff. And mods and cheat engine tables don't work on Game Pass. Well, they do, but somebody has to go in and change all the values. Most people don't want to do that because you just buy the game on Steam. I think normal mods work, but cheat engine stuff does not work. Depending on the game, that can really suck. It'll be out in the morning. I'll check it out in the morning. I was thinking that's why I turned my stream on now. I thought that it'd be out at midnight, but I guess not. We're on Namek Standard Time. It's the 22nd over here. Everything goes by West Coast time for games, at least. Looks like it's a 22nd to me. Where the hell's the game? I don't know how much I play it tonight anyway. I'll just wait till the morning. Let's play other stuff tonight. Some Chronicle.
一瞬で終わらせてやる。
破壊しましょう。
破壊。ハッキング開始します。すべてぶっ壊して私を満足させてみる。破壊敵の反応一気に蹴りをつけましょう。一気に蹴りをつけましょう。敵殲滅する。この場所を倒す。ここを突破する。いい加減壊れろ。
What are you playing tonight? It's a good genre. Especially when everything is cutscenes and forced walking sections and mini games now.
これで一段落しましたね。
Going to the right and punching dudes for an hour is very welcome these days. You can't even trust a character action game to just let you do that anymore. Bayonetta 3 is any indication. Like, nope. Nope, you're gonna do these boring ass mini games, you're gonna like it. Like, nope, I'm not gonna play the game anymore. That's what I'm gonna do. Get out of here with that. Actually, maybe I could power up Bianca Veritas. Let's see, where is she? Somewhere in this mess. I have every character except I don't have Pulse. I don't have her, Ember, and I don't have Luminance. But I'm gonna get my selector for caching on the game probably like by January, so I'll probably get either Pulse or Luminance, but Luminance is not going to be good for a while. Luminance is kind of mid-tier right now. Let's see, I already got her to 80. How many points do I have? Yeah, I gotta wait. It's probably going to be another week before I can really put her in the party. Alright. That's right. Second part of this opens tomorrow. I'm very excited for that. Let's see. I can beef up Bianca, and I need to practice with her. It's going to give her a bunch of buffs. I have 7,000 combat power now. That should be good. Alright, let's do a roguelike run.
するなんて了解だ。全てを粉々に潰すのは最高。私の邪魔をするなんてずいぶんいい度胸してるわね。全てを粉々に潰すのは最高だわ。私の邪魔をするなんて滅びなさい。主は許します。楽しんでくれとするわ。人事尽くす消滅了解です。私についてくれ。あがいてみせて。コミック邪魔をするなんて全てを粉々に潰すのは最高だ。滅びなさい。主は許します。懺悔しなさい。情けないな。楽しんでくれとするわ。主のご加護があらんこと。懺悔しなさい。I
see the trailer for Overkill, yes.
しなさい。
Hello.
死は許す。
Still don't have any confidence that game will come out like
私
before
は
I'm
情
40.
けないや。楽しんでくれたする。
Korea's becoming like the West with video game announcements. We're going to announce this game when we've done like
私の邪魔を
2 months
す
of
る。
work on it. I'm getting tired of that shit.
最高だ。
Like you keep that game behind closed doors until
戦場よ。
it's like less than a year away. Otherwise, I'm like not really interested.
潰すのは最高だわ。
I don't have more than a passing interest anyway. I guess I should put it that way. I'm still interested. If they announce something I'm interested in, but I get flaccid really fast when they don't even have like gameplay for it. They have gameplay or a release date. I'm like, all right, so I'm not gonna play this until 2 years. Like, why didn't you tell me until like a year and a half from now? I would have been completely happy not knowing. Especially because it just makes the disappointment sting more when the game doesn't deliver. Which I think is why a lot of people are not really accepting of Bayo 3. That game was vaporware for so long. It's not a bad game, but when you announce something like 4 years before it's supposed to come out, it makes the expectations just skyrocket. People are more accepting of disappointing games when they don't announce it like 5 years before you even see gameplay. It's probably not coming here either, so that's the other thing with Overkill.
ずいぶんいい度胸してるわね。
That's the other thing about KMMOs as well, is they look really cool in the trailers. Like, wow, look at all these combos you can do and stuff. And then the actual end game is just this stiff, unresponsive hyper armor mess. I'm playing a game right now that's like almost completely hyper armor, by the way, to the point that you get surprised when something staggers. But it's not a bad thing because the game is designed around it. Everything is cancelable on like the first frame, so none of the usual frustration that comes with hyper armor games like Tales of Arise and stuff, where you're stuck in animations. It doesn't feel like you have control of the character. I seriously doubt that Overkill will be anything like this game, where they make hyper armor and stuff work, and it doesn't even feel annoying or like it stifles what you can do with the game. I would be shocked if it's anything like this game's quality, but I don't know. I just played too many KMMOs to really get super excited for stuff like that anymore. I need to see endgame gameplay. Not see the character get stuck in a 3-second long animation against hyper armored enemies, and the game is running at like 12 FPS like Critica. Or the dodge is on like an 8-second cooldown. Like, those are all things that can actually happen. Well, that's the thing about DFOs. It's like the leveling's not fun anymore because they just made it so face roll. It used to be you could play through DFO like to the cap, whatever the cap was at the time, before they added scenario mode and they made it piss easy. It's like you could be satisfied with that. Like, hey, I got to play a beat 'em up for like 2 weeks, and I was still making progress, and you could stop there. It's like, yeah, it's totally understandable if you don't want to do hell modes for 9 months to get a drop. The problem with DFO now is the leveling is just there's no point to it anymore. You barely even. It's not even like this, where when you start this game on a fresh account, like you have access to all the mechanics. They give you extra non-combat stuff, but the game is like fully unlocked. The mechanics don't really change or anything. You actually can like play a fresh account of this and get better until you level up and you can do the end game. Because this game is better designed, but DFO is just like you face roll and then you get to the end game and you don't know how to play because everything dies so fast. It's really weird design. Playing DFO is like, it's like when you graduate high school. It's like a high school graduation simulator. It's like, alright, you went through the tutorial of life for like 18, 19 years, and now you're just placed in the real world with no guidance. That's what that game's end game is like. All the talk about how they don't teach us the things we need to know, actually need to know in school to function as adults. DFO is like that. They've made the game so easy that you still have to like play a ton to like even know what you're supposed to be doing with your character. It didn't used to be like that. The leveling was actually legit challenging and fun. It was way slower. But like you had a pretty good handle on your character by that point. I always find it hilarious when they do a cap expansion on DFO, and like if you're a new player and you play from like to like 110, like the game's difficulty is pretty well balanced. It actually does start to ramp up a bit around that point, but it's funny when they do a level cap increase. And like if you're like a veteran player, you just one-shot everything. So all the level cap really does is just make it so you can't really play your character. That's all it does. Because you gotta unlock the endgame stuff, but your character is so juiced out from doing however many months of endgame grinding, the leveling just becomes one-shot fest again. Maybe Overkill is made by like different people or something. Maybe it'll be better, but I've just been down that road too many times. KMMOs know how to look like really cool in the trailers, but then you gotta remember all the catches, like the monetization, the end game, whether any of the gameplay mechanics actually matter when you're in end game content, or if it's just how much damage you do and how much money you spend. This game I'm playing right now definitely does still have... It has whale traps, of course it does. It has to. That's where they make like most of their money off, like people that are like super addicted, have like a lot of disposable income. You don't need it. You don't need it at all. There's nothing in the game that requires it. You don't need to have a triple S character in this game. It's nice to have, but the game doesn't force you into doing it. This game is just a cut above most service games with melee combat. It's very well balanced. They barely power creep. Alpha's just barely been power crept, and she was a launch character. A launch character being relevant for like 3 years is pretty impressive. That's an acceptable amount of power creep. It's when it starts to be like less than 6 months before something is power crept. That's when I tap out of a game. That's why I quit playing KOF All-Star. I can't support that financially, and I just don't even like playing games like that. I just quit that game cold turkey back in May. I haven't touched it since. Seems like it's only gotten worse since I stopped. Just look at it like, hey, the time and money I spent wasn't a waste, because you guys watched me play that game for years. I had fun. It was fun. It just stopped being fun. I'm able to get past the sunken cost fallacy playing stuff like this. It's like, if it was fun, it kept me entertained. Especially right now when I don't have like a lot of, you know, normal retail games to play. I'm happy with that. I don't need more. I don't mind supporting these guys. I have fun playing it every day. I never get tired of it. That's a good gameplay loop. It's well balanced. Color is all weird. What's wrong with it? Oh. No, that's not just you. Thank you for telling me. Hold on a sec. This capture card is legit annoying. It does stuff like this. Just give me a second. How long has it been like that? Nobody said anything? What? Just gotta speak up, seriously. Has it been like that for like 10 minutes? Just say something. I don't get upset. I get more upset when people don't tell me so I can fix it. It takes like 10 seconds to fix. Speak up next time. Oh, alright. No, there's nothing to... No. Nothing to feel bad about. Stream is unwatchable when it does that. Just say something. I don't get upset at that. I get upset at the tech. When my stuff stops working. I don't get upset when somebody says that it's not working. Just speak up when that happens. I don't really look at the game on my second monitor, so... This is a pretty good capture card, but there's a couple problems with it. The first is that XSplit does not detect the sound natively, so I have to manually do that every time I start playing stuff like this, console or mobile. And then also the contrast gets messed up. If I rehook the capture card, the contrast is like it looks super dark, and for some reason I have to put it to defaults, otherwise it's all creepypasta mode. Easy things to fix, but just have to tell me next time. No, I don't have any add-ons, huh? Alright, well, let's level these guys up. Oops.
いつかこの大地で
Alright, I gotta get rid of some of these. Well, that was actually some pretty good upgrades there. Oh, Frost Spirit's better than Blooming Shot. Alright, Arctic Form.
予想通りの攻撃ですね。
切り開きます。私は機械の翼です。この一撃で
ああ、さっさと解決しないと安らかに眠れ。
切り開きます。
もう寝る時間だよ、君たち。眠るつもりはないだろう。
先人のカラスがこの
ゲージを片付けないと。
カラスは私の刃になってください。この一撃で
ゲージを片付け。
言ってましたよ。
退きなさい。
勝たなければ無意味です。予想通りのフォークの一撃で勝利への道を切り開きます。 の視界の外へ予想通りの
切り開きます。
No, for some reason the default contrast on this is all jacked up, and I don't even have to tweak it. I just click the button to put it on default, and it's perfect. I don't know why. This capture card is really high quality, but it's quirky. It's little quirks you gotta get used to, and they're kind of annoying. Especially because I don't always remember, so sometimes I play mobile or console stuff like this, and I forget the sound is off like the entire time. It's obnoxious. I'll probably get another one eventually, but I'm gonna just ride this one out as long as it lasts, because I'm not like doing that much console stuff right now. The only console I really use is the Switch, and I could just play those games on emulator in better quality, so I'm not too concerned about it right now. It's like low priority, so sorry if that happens. Just tell me, and I'll fix it. Focused on upgrading the computer right now. I don't really care about the capture card. It's a nuisance, but not worth investing funds into right now. And if I got a modern console, I probably would, but need to be some games I actually want to play on those things first. But I can't play on PC, which is like none right now. It's got to accept the capture card and its quirks. Waste of money to try to get a better one. Had it for like 2 years. It's lasted a decent amount of time. It's just I used it more back then. There was more console stuff I wanted to play with. Most stuff's been coming to PC like day one. Not really inclined to upgrade it. This phone I actually can handle recording on board, like direct feed, pretty well. It does drop frames sometimes, especially when I play something like this, because I have this game on like max settings. But that's the other thing too. That's why I'm like not really too worried about the capture card. Is that this phone's got a really good processor, Snapdragon 865, so it can handle even like emulation stuff. I can just play those on the phone. The sound won't be as good, but depending on the game, it can be better. Playing this on the screen is kind of awkward because this game has full controller support for everything but the menus. So I have the phone on my desk right now. Like when I'm making these selections here, I have to use my right hand to do it. It has full controller support and the stuff that matters, which is the combat, but it'd be a little less awkward to just play this on the phone natively. The touchscreen is faster than a controller for menus anyway. Traditionally, it's just sucks for actually playing a game like this. Actually, I talked to the support about the capture card. They said it's because XSplit does not have drivers for it, so it won't automatically pick it up. I have to manually do it every time. Especially if I restart my computer before I stream. The contrast will be all creepypasta and the sound will be mute. It only takes like 20 seconds to fix it, but it's easy to forget because the other cards I had didn't have that problem. It's just a weird... It's not a janky capture card, it's actually a really good one, but... little quirks it has, just kind of have to accept them. Certain things it does are just weird and nonsensical, but get around it. I barely even use it. I really pretty much just use it for this now. If I want to record this in better quality, direct feed, better sounds, that's like it. Switch is better off I just dump the game and just play it on the emulator. It's the best of both worlds. You get better quality and sound, and frame rate is better. That's just a Switch problem. The Switch is pretty pathetic. The emulator is already better than the hardware. Last time that happened was like the Game Boy Advance, like 20 years ago. You could find ROMs for those games like before they would even come out. They ran on like the worst computers. It hasn't happened since then though. PS3 emulation has still got a long way to go. Xbox emulation. No, the Switch is legit better. It's legit better to just play it on the emulator. Then you could just dump the game too, so there's no legality problems or morality either. Oops.
勝たなければ無意味で私の視界の外へ
切り開きます。
私の視界の外へ行かないでください。この一撃で勝利への道を切り開きます。
Well, the cool thing about this game's dev team is that they actually they accept emulation use. Some of these games are really stingy about it, and these guys actually officially support emulation. So you could play this on a PC even before the port that they're working on now. You could play it. The emulator is kind of janky. It drops frames a lot and stuff. It crashes. I played this on emulator for a while, but after I got this phone, it runs fine. It's pretty much lock 60 unless I do like some of the moves. Some of the moves drop frames, but like not enough to really impact gameplay. This is a very responsive game, so performance matters a lot compared to other mobile games. You don't want it to be dropping frames if you can avoid it. Yeah, it's the 22nd tier, and there's no Gungrave. I guess we'll try it in the morning. I don't know how much I would have played it tonight anyway. I'm pretty mentally exhausted.
素晴らしい戦術でした指揮官。
Oh, my card give out again. I don't know if it's the card or the phone. Yeah, you guys don't have any visuals right now. It might be the card, it might be the phone. It actually might be the adapter, because this happened way more when I had another adapter, and it would do it constantly. Now it only does it sometimes, but I still don't really like making long-form content with the capture card, because especially something fast-paced and skill-based like this, it's not good for that to happen. It might actually just be the adapter. Maybe I'll do a Switch stress test later today or something. It's like barely using the Switch right now. I thought I'd be using it a lot more for G.O.R.E, but I didn't hate that game, but it just was disappointing in a lot of ways, so I'll probably check it out again when it gets updated. I just accidentally used my stamina. That's fine. We'll go ahead and run those right now, too. I probably won't play this again until tomorrow. It's all good. Nothing to get upset over. The only other objective this patch is to max out Bianca. Everything else is done already. I forgot to do Operation Guardians too. This only takes a few minutes. Alright. Let's go ahead and knock out battles. They already maxed out Vera. This character already maxed out as Vera. It's already maxed, so I just need to finish up Bianca. And then I have pretty much every team is in-game optimized, except for Fire, but they don't count. They suck right now. Most people just use the Nier characters for content that requires Fire. That's what sucks about them giving us this game so late. Oh, there was a supply crate there too. Alright. Well, there, Operation Guardians is done for the week. Only took 1 day. It's some pretty good RNG there, huh? That minigame is kind of like nothing, so nice to have it done when you can. Alright. So I missed out on like a couple extra bonuses, but I'll probably grab this actually. How much fatigue is this? 120. Let's see. It's like 22 bucks for that. How much is it? 128. That's like 20 bucks. Well, close to S rank selector, so let's see. I have Entropy already. Tenebrian I already have. There's Luminance, Pulse, and Ember. Probably would go for Luminance, honestly. Luminance is going to be getting a buff later. I don't know. The rate that I spend money on this game is probably going to be like another, probably about, not till next year. I'll get that milestone. I really only cash on this game. Most of the stuff I buy on this game is... the monthly pass is good. Monthly pass and doing all the weekly content and saving generally means you can get an S-rank character every patch. And then you get some cards from this as well, the Serum Bundle. And that lets you do like 480 fatigue a day. So it's really good for progression. That's why I always buy that every month. That's why like most of my characters are awakened. Only ones that aren't awakened are the shit ones. Eclipse, I need to get her to Triple S, and she'll be useful. Tenebrian I just don't use anymore. I bought the pack for her, I don't have her optimized yet. I'm trying to get that done this patch, but I'm focused on Lightning right now. So my Dark team's already pretty good. Let's see. This big boob girl sucks. And I've like never even used her once. She's trash. Probably a mule for content where you can put a character in something and get power-ups. That's what these characters are good for. They kind of suck, but if you power them up, it's nice to have them, because there's some things will be like, you can put this character in here and they give you a buff for some content, but you can't use them while they're in there. They're really good for that purpose, but I don't care to use them otherwise. I have pretty set on every element, but fire. Fire just sucks in this game right now. Alright. Let's try to get the Pokemon too, so I'm trying to get that. That's like the last thing I need. We'll do one attempt at this. And I'll, next week I'll probably cash. Oh, wait, I might have gotten it right here. Oh. Which one is this? Oh, it's for ice. That's not bad. I'll take it. Ice team is meta right now, so let's go find that. The ice team is really good right now. Free is good. I haven't even touched this mechanic at all. Oh wow, the 3 ping is really good. Probably put that on Plume. That's not bad for free. I'll take it. You can't complain about that. Didn't cost me anything. I'm not cashing on this game again until next week. I'll probably buy that cup pack. Okay, so let's knock this out really fast. And I won't be on this game again until tomorrow. I might do some of that roguelike mode a little bit. I should probably do a little bit of that later, but I got most of the teams are pretty leveled up. I don't know how much more I need to do.
ずいぶん全てを粉々に潰す私がいる場所が戦場よ全てを粉々あがいてみせゴミくず
これだけですか進み続ける者が勝つこの結果 全力を出しましょう。
私も行きます。
私の後ろに。約束通り勝利しました。
Alright, so I missed out on 2 runs today. That's fine though. It doesn't matter that much. I got this character, the new one that just came out. Like I already got her optimized for endgame, so I need to do 2 more characters this patch. Number 21 and Veritas. Veritas is already level 80, so probably take like a week or 2. I won't be able to buy that serum bundle until next week, so when I get that, it's probably more realistic that I can max out both of them. There's no one else really worth investing in right now. I already got them all. They're all awakened. Alright. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother looking at the points. I only have 1,300. Probably need like a good 10,000. Alright, let's go ahead and turn these in. There we go. How close am I to 100? Oh wow. So I get some fatigue from that too. So yeah, probably should not touch this until this time tomorrow. Because that'll give me 160 stamina. So I'll have like close to 600 tomorrow. The only thing left to do, I already did everything today, is just the infinite warzone thing, but we'll do more of that later. Let's see, I guess that's it for the phone segment then. There's nothing going on in Pinnacle right now. Actually, I want to see if that works. Pinnacle of maintenance mode. Pinnacle of Diablo 3 gets more updates in this game. I'm not exaggerating either. Old ass decrepit Diablo 3 is more active than this game. It's probably not going to get updated again, honestly, until the new version comes out. Let's just crap it out again. You know what? Instead of getting frustrated, I'm just going to stop with the phone for tonight. I'm thinking it might just be the adapter. I don't think it's the capture card. Unless the capture card just keeled over in the last couple weeks, because I was using it quite a bit for Bayonetta, and it was completely fine. Alright. Oh. Let me unplug it. Give me a sec. Yeah, Gungrave unlocks at 10 a.m. my time. We'll have to do a Switch stream soon. I don't know what I'll play, but I gotta find something to play, because that'll help diagnose what's wrong. I definitely got my money's worth out of that card already. I probably wouldn't even bother buying a new one. I'm not really console gaming much right now. It's the phone and the PC is like my two platforms right now. I basically just use the Switch for the overclocking and dumping the games. That's it. I haven't been too many interesting games on it lately. I guess if I cared about Pokemon, that would help, but I don't. No, man, this doesn't sound good. Gungrave might be PS2 jank again. Okay, go ahead and read that if you're. I don't know if anyone's still watching, but yeah. Seems like artificial difficulty galore and poor design, and probably really shit to play on hard mode. That's about what I expected. It's disappointing, but not out of the ordinary. It's honestly kind of a catfish to tell you that you can play games on the hard mode these days. From fresh start, fresh file, no DLC or grinding or anything. Most of the time, you can't, and actually have fun. It's like you can do it, but a lot of times the balance sucks because they expect you to grind. Even God of War was like that. The first one. I heard that if you play that on the hardest difficulty on a fresh file, it's just like torture. Just get one shot by everything and you do like chip damage. Like, yeah, fuck hard modes like that. That's not even a fun challenge. It's just artificial difficulty. I don't even bother getting pissed at stuff like that anymore. If I notice it, I just put the difficulty down. I'm well past that point. I don't have anything to prove. Definitely are some games you can play on hard mode, like Otherworld Legends. That game is really well balanced. It's actually balanced around beating it with no grinding. It's all skill. Most games are not that well balanced anymore. Which is sad. It's a freaking mobile game. Like, what excuse do you have? A random mobile game that I found on Google Play's ads. Like, that game is better designed. It's sad, really. It's depressing. When Radical gifted me the PC version of that, I beat it first try. Completely fresh file, no grinding required. But then you buy like $50, $60 games and they're balanced worse than that. You play it on hard, it's just a slog. You either have no margin for error or everything has like 15 digits of health and you're doing chip damage. I'll probably just put that game on easy if I start to feel like it's getting too jank for me. I don't think that game is worth the mold. Punishing Grey Raven, that game I was just playing, is barely worth the mold as it is. That game also has a lot of frustrating content that gives you crap rewards, so it's like not even worth doing unless you're like super hardcore and you have like this patience of a saint. It's not worth doing. I'm looking at what's on Game Pass right now. I forgot I was subscribed to it. I'd probably been donating to Microsoft for a couple months. I wasn't even aware. So I'm like looking to see if there's anything cool on here. It's mostly stuff I already own. No, Tian Ding is on here. But I already 100%ed that game. I don't really feel like playing it again. It's not really a replay value game. I highly recommend that game if it's on if you have Game Pass. It's a good 6 to 8 hour game to do everything. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just a little bit shallow. Not really something you'd play for a long time. I did like that game though. It had some really cool stuff about it. Like you could the items, some Metroidvania, but the items weren't just complete trash. I really like that about that game. None of this 255 missiles when you only need like 20 to beat the game. I'm sad they didn't fix that in the new Metroid. It's like just as pointless as it's always been to try to get that stuff. Serves no purpose. I liked how in Tian Ding it was like you got a bunch of passive buffs and like by themselves they didn't do much, but when you started to stack them you actually did feel quite a bit more powerful. I feel like that was way better than the way that Metroid still does it, where the items are mostly useless. Could be like the worst player in the world and like if you got them all you would never use them. Like you only need a couple dozen missiles in like every Metroid game, even just casual gameplay. Everything else is pointless. Not worth the stress looking for them. Yeah, let's do a run of this really quick. Sounds fun. I don't want to play anything that's going to get me tilted tonight. Just want to relax. I think the worst hard mode I ever played was Tales of the Abyss Unknown New Game Plus. That was just awful. The first enemy takes like over 10 minutes to kill. You're literally doing 1 damage per hit, and it has like 300 HP or something. It's ridiculous. They just put like no effort into it at all. Like the most basic generic look enemy has like it takes like 10 minutes to kill. Especially because that first fight in that game you don't have access to any of the progression systems. Even on New Game Plus, you gotta play for a couple hours. You're stuck just beating up this boar for like 10 minutes. I feel like action game devs should like have to play that game, that first fight, before they make a hard mode. Should be like mandatory. Yeah, this is why HP sponges and hard mode suck.
Oh, no, you don't. Perfect. Up we go.
I don't know, a lot of games have really garbage hard modes. A lot of them do. And it's only gotten worse since they started putting RPG mechanics and everything. They like to blue ball you hard. It's like, yeah, you can play this game on hard mode from the start, but you die in one hit and you do pixels of damage. So the game is not even a fun challenge, it's just doing the same thing for longer and you have no margin of error. I'm tired of hard modes like that, honestly. I think Streets of Rage 4 does a really good job of it, where you have... The game is harder, yes, but... not in an artificial way. They don't give the enemies any more health until Mania Plus, and even then it's only like 20%. It makes it so, like, some combos won't kill. You can't, like, touch up depth some bosses, but it's already hard to do that in the first place. It's not that much of a big deal. The pace doesn't slow down too much.
Up we go.
I find it hilarious that the God of War, that's like the... They put like summer movie MCU budgets into those games. The new ones anyway. And, like, apparently the hard mode in that was like dreadful. They let you do it from the start, but the game was like not really designed around it, so... Random generic enemy could just one-shot you when you do no damage. Ah, fuck that. I don't have patience for that anymore.
Up we go. On out you. Perfect. Not this time. Perfect.
I used to get some people that would say, like, why don't you play on hard mode? I'm like, well, the hard mode sucks. And you're seeing me play the game. There's nothing, there's no skill issue preventing me from playing it. It's just like, I don't have fun. I definitely do feel it's gotten worse since they put RPG stuff in everything now. That's made it worse in recent years. It didn't used to be as bad as it is now, but I think the worst is when the hard mode is shit and they don't let you turn it off. You can't like go back down in difficulty. That sucks too. There are some games that are like completely fine on normal, but and the hard mode sucks. So it's not really fun being stuck on it either. You probably would have more fun just like starting the game again on normal. Fight and Rage kind of has that problem too. It just gives the enemies more health and more damage. It's like not really interesting. It just makes the game more frustrating. I kind of tap out at that point. I got good enough I could 1cc that game on normal like 85% of the time. It's good enough for me.
Perfect.
know some people won't agree with me, but I think Bayonetta's had some shit difficulties as well. Anything past hard on Bayonetta 2 sucks. Bayonetta 1's hardest difficulty isn't bad, it's just... it takes away the core gameplay mechanic, and it's like, the game is, on one hand, the game is like, designed around not needing witch time. It's not like a forced requirement. But it's a fun, at least at the time it was unique, you know. Now everybody copies witch time. Like, I got to that difficulty, I'm like, well, I like the witch time, it's fun. It's satisfying to pull off. It's kind of weird to, like, that game's hardest difficulties, like, teach you to use it, and how to use it well, and optimal punishes and stuff, and then just take it away from you in the hardest difficulty. I don't know if I really consider that to be good design. It's not bad, but I feel like a hardest difficulty should be like, you need to use all your tools. The game is actually designed around skill-based play instead of just giving things more health and increasing a damage multiplier. Bayonetta 2's hardest difficulty legit sucks, though. Because, like, in that game, they let you use witch time on the hardest difficulty, but the thing about that game is most of the bosses, you can't even hit them without witch time. And the witch time doesn't last long enough to, like, actually do anything interesting. I stopped with that game at hard. That game's a good example of a bad hardest difficulty. It's playable, but it's not fun. It's not a fun kind of challenge. Assault Spy had that problem as well. Assault Spy was just... the enemies had too much health, and the shield mechanic kind of just like stopped working on extreme difficulty, because by the time you depleted it, they were almost dead, so the combo system was relatively pointless. But he's since fixed that. Yeah, I'd say that game, as much as I shill it, had a pretty poor hardest difficulty as well. I actually beat it before the nerf, but it's a lot more fun after he nerfed it. The game is still challenging, but not in an annoying way. It doesn't feel like you're fighting things for too long. Though I heard God of War Ragnarok does not have New Game Plus yet, so maybe that's why the hard mode is actually playable on a fresh save. So I know New Game Plus on the first God of War reboot was added like post-launch, but they still had the hardest difficulty there, and it wasn't balanced around it at all.
Up we go. Perfect. Not this time. Slide
It's interesting that people are just now realizing this is a problem. It's been a problem for a while. It's just gotten worse lately. It's like they give you RPG mechanics, but then they still let you play the hardest difficulty at the start. And it feels like they only design it around New Game Plus, so...
Up we we go. Not this time. Up we go. Perfect.
Does Fire Emblem have XCOM miss percentages? It'll say like 95%, but 95 is actually like a 2% chance to hit. XCOM has made that a meme, but a lot of other games do that too. The percentage counters like a suggestion. At 10% in XCOM is like 0.01. It's like trying to get a gacha character. Like less than 1% chance if it says 20. Plenty of famous videos about that. Point blank with like a shotgun in XCOM. Like 95% chance to hit and still misses.
Oh, no, you don't. Slice. Up we go. Cutting loose. Bring. Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, that's interesting, because that's been a meme forever. Like, the percentage bar doesn't really even mean anything. I don't even play those games, and I know how bullshit the accuracy meter is in those games. Complete bullshit. It's not at all what it says. It's like gacha games before that worldwide law passed where they have to show you the rates. And there was a time when gacha games did not have to show you the rates. The rate could be like, you have a better chance of winning the lottery. By law, they did not have to tell you. Now they do. Yeah, I had a buddy in high school that played a lot of Fire Emblem. I used to watch him play. I never really... Not my kind of game, obviously. But I'm well aware how a lot of strategy games have bullshit accuracy meters. You have to divide what it says by like 6 to get the actual rate. Yeah. Fire Emblem and XCOM were gacha game pain before gacha games existed. They're like the OG gacha games, really. It tells you the odds, and the odds are like a complete lie. They really are the OG gacha games. It's just you couldn't go homeless spending money on them or anything, but the rates were just as bad. You get just boned by RNG a lot. No fault of your own.
Oh, no, you don't. Not this time.
You have a real life friend that plays Super Robot Wars. The AI in that game, those games will like literally go around every unit that's not the one you're controlling to try to hit you. I've seen him do it. I've seen that happen before. like the AI, there'll be like 8 other player units in front of the CPU, and then they'll go straight to the one that, you know, is the protagonist or whatever. They'll like do like this beeline around them.
Not this time. Oh, no, you don't.
SNK bosses are like that too. That's where the term SNK boss syndrome comes from. Like if you try to hit an SNK boss on like Wake Up, they'll DP every time, and their DP has like a decade of invincibility frames. So nothing you do will not get hit by that. That's why they always have those exploits, because you can like get to force them to DP, like knock them down once, and then just do like a crouching A or B, which is like the only thing that recovers in time to not get hit by their DP. Then you do something that knocks them down, and then do it again. It's legit exploiting their bullshit AI.
Not this time.
You give them a taste of their own medicine. But they did that because they wanted to make sure the games made money, even if there weren't like any competitive matches going on. It's actually pretty genius, because like most of the other fighting games in the 90s were not doing that. The bosses were pretty fair and civilized.
Oh, no, you don't.
So arcade owners liked it, because people would still spend like $10 to beat like Rule or something. There's no one else at the arcade, or nobody just plays it competitively there. They were still making money. Everybody else was making pretty easy bosses. Could just kind of demolish them pretty fast. As far as I'm concerned, the exploits on the bosses in SNK games are unintentional. It's basically just you use the input reading into your advantage.
Up we go.
Like Akuma and SBC Chaos, I remember. Akuma and SBC Chaos, like I remember you could just like crouching A near him and he would DP like every time. So, very exploitable. It's just if you tried to fight him normally, he would kill you. Your credit would be gone in seconds, but you use it to your advantage.
Oh, no, you don't.
Well, Midway were the kings of cheating. There's actually video essays on how those games could cheat. Like NBA Jam in particular would go out of its way to cheat. There are ways that it would cheat to make sure that you had to spend more money. That's kind of why most the weeb mentality with arcade games is actually the correct one. Because American arcade games sucked for, like, actual balanced gameplay anyway. They did not balance them around being able to 1cc at all. It's basically just... They made it seem like it was skill-based, but there were things in place that you could not beat it on one credit. Gauntlet Legends is a very infamous one, because people did find a way to beat that on one credit, and then they pushed out a revision for it that made it so it was impossible. So I think if you want to 1cc that game in modern era, you have to get like the first unpatched version of it. They made it literally impossible. That's why Western arcade games sucked. They're not really games of skill. They are to a degree, but decent chunk of American arcade games are impossible to 1cc. That's not to say that Japanese ones are perfect in that regard either, but they are designed with it in mind. Well, depending on the game, it'll still do a bunch of bullshit to prevent you from doing it, but it's designed with it in mind. A lot of American ones, especially anything from Midway.
Up we go. Perfect.
Revolution X, Terminator 2, are very famous ones. You don't notice that when you're a kid, but it can be pretty cathartic to realize, like, nope, you didn't suck at games as a kid. You didn't suck at NBA Jam, it's just those games cheated. They cheated to make sure that you couldn't get too good at it.
Oh, no, you don't. Up we go.
I should post those in my Discord because I used to play a lot of NBA Jam as a kid. My mom had a part-time job at a bowling alley for a while, and they didn't have too many games. They had Prisoner of War, they had Mortal Kombat 2 and NBA Jam.
Go.
Eventually, I found the AI exploits from Mortal Kombat 2, so whenever she would take me there, I could 1cc that game eventually, from what I remember. But NBA Jam, I never could. And now I know that I'm older, that it wasn't me, it's the fucking game. Midway were kind of scumbags, really. They're arcade games. They were the biggest offender of impossible to 1cc games.
Not this time. Up we go. Go.
That's the interesting thing about arcade design for fighting games is that if you make a boss easy, then the person's off the game really fast, right? And that's like probably a good 80% of fighting games are like that. They're like really easy. Especially if you actually know how to use the mechanics. Most of them are pretty easy to break. There's a benefit to that if you own an arcade. It's because the person can't be on it for possibly way too long. But then the other side of the spectrum is the SNK games and stuff where the AI would input read, and basically their movesets were designed in a way that like most characters didn't have an answer to them until you started to find the exploits. So like that would make somebody keep continuing. But the interesting thing about easy bosses in arcades for fighting games is that the person has to spend more money. The better they are at the game, the more they have to spend. It's pretty interesting to think about. There was a lot that really went into that stuff. It's just kind of like why I don't understand why people are so shocked that microtransactions are so scummy. I mean, they've been doing that stuff since the arcade era. You just didn't notice because you were a kid, but there's a lot of science that goes into it. I like both schools of design with single-player arcade game content. Neither of them are incorrect or better than the other. They just have their pros and cons. You definitely could just dump like $10 trying to beat an SNK boss, but the Capcom games were like piss easy to beat. That just meant that you had to spend money to play again. You couldn't stay on the machine too long.
Not this time.
When I was in 8th grade graduation, Marvel 2 just came out. And I was not really good at the game, but a lot of the kids were normies, so I had like 50 wins. They took us to Great America for graduation, but it was also like peak California weather at the time. It's like over 100 degrees. And like I didn't even like roller coasters in the first place, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna sit out there and wait in line in like 110 degree weather for a 2-minute roller coaster. I stayed in that arcade the entire time, and I only came out to eat. So I had like 50 wins. Like by the time that they told us to get in the shuttle and leave, I had like 50 wins. I was on that machine for like 50 cents for like hours. I just kept playing and playing and playing. The Marvel 2 is a really easy 1cc because the AI is really dumb. They didn't really put a lot of effort into him. The only real roadblock is Abyss, just because he's a hyper-armored gimmick boss with 3 forms, so just like most hyper-armored bosses, kind of the gameplay mechanics stop working Still an easy boss, though. That's like the only roadblock, I'd say. That's probably a good 1cc for somebody to try to pick up. So fighting games are historically the easiest 1cc's. That's because they're like some of the shortest games, and most of them are pretty easy to break because the AI is dumb. Depends on the game, though. Any SNK one, of course, you have to figure out the exploits, because you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that with skill. They have it designed in a way where it's highly unlikely to be able to do that with skill. That's why it's funny playing KOF 15 and how easy that boss is. It's like legit a product of its time because they like don't have any reason to. There's no financial reason to make bosses that hard anymore. With rollback netcode and it's a one-time purchase with DLC. There's no playing the game for 50 cents. They don't have to make bosses like that anymore. That's kind of why they stopped happening. It's cool how they have that boss challenge mode in KOF 15, though. It's like the classic input reading bullshit AI. It's a nice touch. It's like, realistically, there's no reason to make bosses like that anymore, because the games aren't in the arcade. You don't need to design the game around needing to make money anymore. That's why I'm saying the weeb mentality of only Japanese games are worthwhile. With arcade games, yes, that mentality is correct.
Oh, no, you don't.
That mentality is not correct for stuff like this. This game is from, I think they're from Switzerland. There's lots of good games coming out from every country now, not just Japan. But for arcade games, yes, objectively. Our games sucked. They were just, they basically were microtransaction simulators. Just an early form of it. Nowhere near as predatory, of course, because it still beat, like, NBA Jam on a couple bucks.
Up we go.
Couldn't, like, go homeless playing NBA Jam like you can with a mobile game, but... Same kind of mentality. You need to spend money to get somewhere.
Go.
And to be fair, there were some, there's a bunch of bullshit Japanese games, too. That's why the Konami beat-em-ups suck. Because they're designed like Western, they're designed like Midway games. Or they're impossible to 1cc. Metamorphic Force is a good example. You can't 1cc that game on the world version because it has gauntlet health, so you'll die eventually. There's no amount of skill that you can have to do that. X-Men is another one as well. People have 1cc'd that game. They've also 1cc'd the Turtles games, but you have to play them like perfect. That's why Konami beat-em-ups suck, because they're designed like Western ones. There's still some skill involved, but the games are specifically designed in a way where they have systems in place so that kids couldn't get too good at it. Simpsons is another one as well, but that's one of the easier ones that I've seen.
Auto, you know. Not this time.
It's not out yet, dude. Is it out? I bought the game. You're asking for an impossibility right now, brother. Why are you asking then? I did not get a review key for that. I kind of didn't want one because I'm weary about asking for review keys for games that look really jank. I don't like asking for review keys for games that look jank or like barely acceptable, because then I have to well, I never really hold back my opinions on games. I always try to be honest, but I have to have some kind of limiters on. Well, I'm hearing some reports that it's actually a pretty bad game, so I'll give it a shot. I got it for $30, so I don't feel like too attached to it. But yeah, it seems like it's very amateurish design, so who knows? Probably not going to be too great. I'll give it a shot. I like the old one. I liked Overdose. I played that one a lot when I was in high school. This one is made by some random South Korean company, so I keep my expectations in check. I probably could have gotten a code for it. But I don't like asking for codes for games I know I have like a high chance of not liking, because then I feel even more like shackled to it. Like I have to beat it and give an honest opinion. Whereas if I buy something with my own money, I'll just tell you like, hey, this game sucks. Don't buy it. It's not worth the money. I lose money, but you guys save money, and I don't feel obligated to keep playing it. That's what sucks about getting review keys. People just think like, oh, you get free games. It's like, no, you're pretty much obligated to like play the game to completion, even if it sucks, and give your honest opinion. And some games, it's fucking torture to do that. And most games are fine. I've had pretty good success rate with stuff I ask for keys for. I end up actually liking the game, so it's not like too painful to get through it. But Gungrave was too much of a risk. I'd rather eat up the loss of $30 than ask for a key and the game sucks and I have to like kind of sugarcoat that it sucks. I don't like doing that. I try to be honest. I did not know it was on Game Pass. That was not announced until after I bought it. I don't care, though. At least it'll fucking work. I bought stupid-ass Star Ocean. That port is a piece of shit. It's barely playable. It stutters like crazy, and I have a good computer, too. I can't even beat that game. Like, I can't even give a review for that game, because the port is such garbage. At least I know Gungrave will work. It's just a matter of if it's good enough to finish. It might be a game that I flush. But I'd rather flush something on my own dime than the publisher's dime. I hate doing that. 'Cause I've had some experiences with that before. Or I ask for a code and the game sucks and I don't like it, but I still have to make content for it, and I just don't like doing that. I try to avoid it as much as I can. That the price was cheap enough. Like Ultra Age. Ultra Age is kind of an interesting one because I didn't like the game at first, but they updated it and they balanced it better and they added the roguelike mode, and I played a lot of it. It was really fun. So they did get the review and stuff that they promised. It just took a while. But I knew that I would probably end up liking that game, so it was worth it. They actually haven't really been asking for review keys. I haven't even applied for one in a while. It's been a couple months. I've mostly just been paying for stuff out of pocket because I'm like not entirely sure if I'm gonna like it. Valkyrie Elysium, I know I could have gotten a key for that, but I already went into that game knowing that it was very stiff and unresponsive, and the game has a lot of problems and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'd rather just buy it myself. You know, I gave you guys the review for it. I did my part. I showed some gameplay. I'm not really inclined to finish it because I paid for it with my own money. I have no obligation to do so. How is that Evil West game? It looks alright. I probably wouldn't like it, but maybe when it's on sale. It looks okay. It's better than I thought it would be, but I don't know. I don't really care for the theme either. I don't really care for cowboys and shit, so the game would have to really carry itself on combat. I haven't seen any good gameplay of it. I want to drop $40 on that blind. Gungrave's like an established franchise for me, so I played the other ones. I don't think I have much gameplay of them on the channel, but I did play them when they came out. I liked them, so. But I'm hearing this one is pretty jank, so I don't know what to expect. And I'm willing to give janky games a chance because I'm tired of the opposite side of the spectrum, like fucking God of War, where it has like millions of dollars put into it and it's like just walking sim cutscenes and simple combat. It's just like not interesting. I don't mind janky games. I don't mind 7 out of 10 games if they're fun to play. I don't need top of the line graphics. I just want the game to play well and run well. That's it. So I'm willing to give stuff like Gungrave a chance. I know most people will have the mentality like, you know, it just came out next to God of War and stuff. But it's like I'm not interested in God of War. I like PS2 era action games because they were no nonsense. And when the budget is in check, they can't do a bunch of bullshit like give you forced walking sections and unskippable cutscenes and puzzles and shit. Like you just fucking play the game. I actually really like that. So I'm willing to give games a chance. Ironically, a lot of the best performing games for me are like the obvious 7 or 8 out of 10 games. Because the big channels don't cover them. Or they just write them off because they don't have AAA graphics and stuff. Ironically, those games do way better for me than some of the bigger stuff I play. I do play some popular stuff sometimes, but I like mid-tier games. I think mid-tier is better than high-tier these days. God of War is just a product of when you put like $200 million into a game, you have to dumb it down. You have to have a bunch of story and walking and pointless puzzles and simplified combat and stuff. They have to make sure that even if you have the intelligence of a goldfish and like the video game skills of a kitten, that you can still see it all. They have to, because they spend too much money on it. It has to appeal to everybody. Whereas stuff like Gungrave and Assault Spy, which are like obvious, like not top tier games in production value, they're still fun. And they have more of a gameplay focus, and they're not really trying to cater to anybody mainstream. Like they make those games with a very specific audience in mind, and they're able to just focus on pleasing them. They're not trying to get like God of War money or like Call of Duty, Fortnite money. Like nope, they just want to make enough money to live. Want to make enough money to live and, you know, at least break even so that they can keep making games. They're not trying to sell like 50 million copies. That's why I think those games are still really special, to me at least. Because those are the games I'm more interested in playing. Let's see, it's already 2 in the morning. Let me see if any streams are on. Maybe I'll stop there for tonight. Played some PGR and Helvetia. That's a good chill stream. Except for my capture card acting up, but that's whatever. I'll have to troubleshoot that later. I think I'm going to stop there, folks. It's already 2 in the morning. I'll try to get up in the morning, and we'll check out Gungrave. I don't have high hopes, but I bought the game with my own money, so if it sucks, it gets flushed. Period. I'll give it a couple hours. And if it sucks, then it gets flushed. I'm not surprised to hear that the game design is poor, though. That's about what I expected. There might still be some fun. Maybe just play it on easy mode or something. Maybe it gets better when you grind. Maybe it's just the progression system sucks and they give you, like, no tools at the beginning, because a lot of games are like that now. They suck balls to play at the start, but then, like, once you have a decked out character, it's like, it plays better. Maybe it's like that. I mean, I love Tales games, and those games are designed like that. They've been like that for decades, so if that's the only problem, that's easy to fix. Just play the game on easy or normal. But we'll see. We'll find out for ourselves. I'm going to go ahead and hop off. Want to support me? There's my link. Spent a lot of money on the channel this month, and a lot of it has not worked out. Star Ocean had to get flushed because the bad port. Valkyrie Elysium had to get flushed because of the port is average, but it stutters a lot. And then the game was kind of frustrating me, so I kind of had to flush that as well. I've had pretty shit luck, so if you want to help me recover, there's the link. I'll see you guys in the morning. Oh, Sin is coming to Strive. I can't wait for him to have, like, half of his moveset gone. Because that's how Strive design is. I'm just gonna take away all their, like, most of their moves. And give them, like, 2 moves back. And, like, no Gatlings and call it a day. I'd like to be proven wrong, but that's been the Strive design philosophy. Let's take everything away that made this character fun. And then they're also in a game that's just less fun than the old Guilty Gears in the first place. But then to make it worse, they take away most of their moves, so it's like they're gutted. They don't even feel fun to play anymore. I hope they can turn that game around, but it's like the most successful one, so Guilty Gear is probably dead, just like Tales and God of War are. They found a winning formula, and they're like not going to change it for anything. Strive sold an order of magnitude way more than any other Guilty Gear game, so they're probably going to continue to be dumbed down and basically distilled to, like, basic stuff. I tried Strive. I hated playing it. It was not fun. The only redeeming quality was the netcode was good. Netcode is not the only thing a fighting game needs. It needs to be fucking fun to play. Yeah, Strive design philosophy is kind of jacked, really. It's just like, take away everything that makes the game fun. And then when they put legacy characters in, they don't really design them around Strive. I think that's why, like, Nagori Yuki is, like, consistently really good. Because they designed him around the Strive gameplay mechanics, whereas, like, when they try to put, like, the old legacy characters into it, it sucks because they simplify them too much. They're dumbed down and they're missing, like, things you expect them to have. Because they've had them for, like, fucking 20 years at this point. But then they put them in the game and all of that stuff is gone. Why can't Chip teleport? Dude, he's had that since the first game. Why is it gone? Like, it's like if they took, like, Ryu out of Street Fighter for one game, and then they put him back in a new, like, AAA one that's, like, dumbed down. and they take like the dragon punch away. It's like, well, it doesn't matter if he functions without it. He's had that move for decades. It's not the same when it's gone. It's not. It's a tool that you expect to be there because he's had it for like 50 games. It's just gone. Why? I don't even really like watching Strive, honestly. I find it boring to watch as well. It feels really one-sided because the damage is so high. But I definitely noticed that the new characters tend to do a lot better than the old ones. Most of them, anyway. It's got the same problem as a lot of other games, like Dynasty Warriors has that problem. Dynasty Warriors 7 had, like, really basic weapons, but then the DLC weapons were, like, way more interesting. Uh, they had, like, really cool gimmicks and stuff, but then the ones in the base game were, like, really, really just boring, just average, not interesting to use. It's like they get better at designing the movesets and the characters and stuff when they've been using those systems for a while. But what always ends up happening is the ones that the game launches with, whether it's like a moveset like Dynasty Warriors or characters like Strive, it's like the ones that they design the games around like are always better. And when they start trying to like bring in old characters and stuff, it usually falls flat. Yeah, I would rather play Battle for the Grid over Strive. Hey, wait, Gungrave's live right now. It's letting me install right now. Hold on, we'll check out Gungrave. The stream just got a lifeline here. It's letting me install the game right now. Alright. Let me see how long it's going to take to install before I commit to it. It's going to take about 20 minutes. They actually bumped it to one of my old friends that I used to play Guilty Gear with at the arcade. he hates Strive too. He won't even touch it. I forget what he said, but he's like, yeah, at least it's not Strive. I'm like, yeah, I agree. Here, I'll put this screen on while it downloads. Well, the interesting thing that's stupid about Strive is that they tried to simplify it by removing Gatlings. But the thing about Gatlings is that it already was simplified. Gatlings were very rarely optimal, but the fact that you had a combo that worked with most characters, it made it easier to jump in and play. But now they're doing this thing where things only Gatling from certain buttons, and it's different for per character, I think, which is just doesn't make sense. Like, you already had it simplified. Like, why make it so it's more like Street Fighter, where certain things only link into other things? That's part of what makes it not feel like Guilty Gear 2, is sometimes you can't connect things you want. It's like Dragon Ball Fighters, despite its flaws. The auto combo sucks. It does shit damage. Once you're past, like, beginner level, there's no reason to use them. The only reason to use them is just maybe if you're, like, about to win the match. And it's like, yes, then mashing the button is more practical because whatever hit will kill them, but you want to remove, like, any kind of room for error. You know, if they have like 10% health left and you hit them, there's no point in trying to do something advanced. You just mash the button. Because basically the combo is programmed to happen 100% of the time. As long as it's not some weird interaction like they're in the air or something. Well, Xrd is getting rollback, so I probably will try to play that game. Xrd and BlazBlue Central Fiction were like the end of me caring about console fighting games. Because I grew up in the arcades, so I never had to worry about bad netcode. But then the arcades kind of stopped being a thing, so I went through this weird phase where I kept trying to like fighting games, but the netcode was just so bad, I couldn't get into it. And like nobody here plays Guilty Gear. Barely anybody does. It's gotten a little bit better with Strive, but it's still like nowhere near as popular as the other games. So I couldn't play. I tried to. I wanted to play, but I'm just like, I'm not gonna sit here in training mode for hours when the online is such garbage. Like I have better things to do. There's plenty of other games to play. It's just a waste of time. Now, ironically, the problem is we have rollback, but we don't have crossplay, so there's like 4 different versions of every fighting game, and none of them can communicate with each other. So generally, if you're not on PlayStation, there's barely anybody playing, so the problem has only been half fixed. It wasn't as much of a problem before, because like, especially 2 gens ago, you pretty much wanted a PS3 to play every fighting game, because a lot didn't come to Xbox. So it wasn't as much of a problem. But now, there's like 5 different platforms that games are on now, so it sucks. DNF Duel, I didn't hate that game. The problem was just that it had no crossplay, and it died really fast on PC, because that's generally how fighting games are on PC. It's always the best version, because like the load times are faster, so you can play single player faster, and most people are running wired, so that helps with netcode stuff too, but the games die really fast, so it's kind of a waste of a purchase, and I'm getting kind of tired of it, honestly. It's really sad that I've gotten the most value out of Battle for the Grid than any other fighting game I've bought this past generation. Because that game is crossplay with everything. PC version is completely dead. It's a ghost town. But because it's crossplay with like 5 different other platforms, you can still play it. But like every other game I bought, all the Japanese ones, like most of them don't have that. But yeah, I went through a phase where I like really wanted to keep playing fighting games, but I started kind of gravitating towards more single player stuff, just because it was more playable. I don't know, PS3 era for fighting games was kind of depressing for me because it used to be my favorite genre, but once they stopped being played in the arcades and then the meetups here, they didn't really play them anymore. It got just I just got depressed. Actually, the first thing that I did when I moved here back in 2011. First thing I did was I bought KOF 13. I like learned how to use the bus system here and get to the mall. I pre-ordered and bought that game. I got home. I played like one match. Netcode was dreadful. It took like 10 minutes to finish a match. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm done. I bought a couple fighting games after that, but I'm like, yeah, unless they play it here, it's pointless. Marvel 3 was the same way. But at least people did play that game here. That game was very popular for many years, so the garbage netcode wasn't as much of a factor, but with like the more niche Japanese stuff, I kept spending money on those games and I couldn't keep playing them. They didn't function. I know a lot of people like to shit on NetherRealm Studios. Their games have jank gameplay and they look awful. The animations are really bad. But I'll tell you one reason why those games sell. And it's not just the Mortal Kombat brand. It's because they actually care about the casual gamer. Lots of people like fighting games. They like them at a base level. But they don't care about being competitive. Their competitive games of choice are more, for lack of a better word, normie stuff. MOBAs, Battle Royales, Call of Duty. They'll be competitive in those. They still like fighting games. They just don't care to get super sweaty at them. Those games still sell because they have a lot of content. They have like a robust story mode. There's like, you know, extra modes you can play with like loot and leveling and stuff. So it's like you don't have to hop online. Ironically, those games have better netcode than a lot of the Japanese games still do. That's the other thing as well, but that's like not even really a factor. It's that people can play them offline, and not even talking about like having friends over and just button mashing, just having fun with some beer or something. Like you just play them by yourself, and there's a lot of content. They're designed in a way that if you want to be sweaty hardcore, the rollback netcode is there, the player base is high. Uh, those games have a lot of problems, but that's what they get right. And Japan is still like stuck in the 90s, stuff like that. And they wonder why they get all outsold by those games. NetherRealm games suck. I can't stand playing them, but I'm not jaded enough, closed-minded enough to like ignore why they sell. That's why they make money. Well, they die because there's no crossplay, and there's too many ways to play games now. That's the problem. I'd say the best era for niche stuff was definitely the PS3. Because if you had a PS3, you could play every fighting game. You couldn't do that otherwise. So like the netcode still sucked, but if you had a PS3, you had access to everything, and most people were on PS3. Even the stuff that was cross-platform, like BlazBlue and Street Fighter. Well, Street Fighter and Marvel were mostly Xbox, but the more niche, lower budget Japanese stuff like BlazBlue and Guilty Gear, everybody was on PlayStation. But now there's 5 different platforms you can play stuff on, so it's heavily weighted towards PlayStation, PS4, and PS5. Like, if you really want to get your money's worth out of a game, a fighting game, past like the first month, the honeymoon period, you have to get it on PlayStation. PC is where people will go when the console dies. The console is not playable online anymore, but it takes years for that to happen. And obviously, like, only the hardcore are left at that point. Everybody else has moved on. There's other games to play. That's what turned me off DNF Duel, was not having crossplay. I knew that it was going to die fast. I got my money's worth out of it. I just don't even care about the balance patch we're supposed to be getting in a few weeks because I know no one's going to be playing it. They'll probably get like a small resurgence on PS4 and PS5, but my game can't communicate with their game, so that doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't care if the game makes a complete 180 and becomes popular again. It's not going to do that on PC, and that's the one I paid for, so I'm stuck with something that barely functions. And I could still go play Battle for the Grid like right now. And I probably